Hello, and thanks for stopping by my channel and a video in my series called Honest Opinion. And today I'm going to talk about the Arca Swiss plates and why I'm not a huge fan of them. So let's talk cinema. So in front of me you can see the pieces that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to start from left to right. This is the Canon C80, and on here I have a Zacuto C80 cage, and that has an Arca Swiss plate built in, which you can see here. Really nice solution, but it does have some drawbacks, and we'll come back to that. On the next item, this is a very nice base plate by Bright Tangerine, and I really love this base plate and I really love the idea behind it, but it's not as straightforward as it should be. Let's just first talk about the base plate for a little while. This has three separate plates that it can accept. It can accept an Arca Swiss plate, it can accept Manfrotto plates, and it can also accept DJI plates. I mean, that's all nice and great. And furthermore, we have two 15mm rods, and these from Bright Tangerine, they are threaded so they can be extended or shortened back if you want to. On the side, we have the DJI Manfrotto safety button here, and here we obviously have the Arca switch where you can tighten and loosen. And here we have an Arca mode and a Manfrotto mode. So we're just going to leave this base plate for now. This is an Arca Swiss base plate from Zacuto, and this came with this. This is the ACT base plate that Zacuto makes, and what is nice about this, you can take the plate, you can mount it here, you can tighten it down, and it's a really nice and sturdy solution. And this isn't coming anywhere. You can put it on your shoulder like this, and you can make your own shoulder rig. I mean, it's a really nice idea. And on the bottom, we have an Arca Swiss plate built into as well. So this is just a one piece of metal. It's all been manufactured as one piece. So this isn't coming loose, and it also has three 1/4" threads and one 3/8 thread. So it's a really nice and great product. And this one, this is an Arca plate receiver from a company called Camvate. Now it's kind of a nice base plate, and on the bottom I have mounted my Liebeck tripod plate, which I usually use when I'm out shooting. I've been a huge fan of Liebeck tripods for many years. And I think I had my tripod since all the way back to 2008. So all these things combined, Arca here, Arca here, Arca here, and Arca here, they should work great together, right? Well, here's the problem. I think that Arca plates made by photo manufacturers are really great. Video manufacturers, you still have a way to go in my opinion. And I'll demonstrate why. So, here, on this cage, this is the Zacuto C80 cage, which we spoke about earlier, and it has this nice built-in Arca plate here. So this should fit straight onto this one. That was why I purchased this one. I think it cost around $200 or so. So it's quite an expensive piece of equipment. And we are going to put that on, like so. Like I said, we are going to put that on and see what happens. It doesn't fit. Now, the problem with this one is that this plate here is too shallow, so it won't go all the way down to this. When I try to mount this, this just floats on top of the cage, and I'm not able to adjust it or mount it or anything. So you can already see the incompatibility issues from the video manufacturers. So let's go over to this one from Camvate. This should fit, right? Because this is also an Arca Swiss. This is Arca Swiss. So let's see what happens. We can see, yeah, sort of working, but not quite. Because this is not able to grip onto this here. So let's just try and see if we can tighten this somewhat. When you tighten this knob, these here, they go like this. So let's see what happens if we can now mount it back in. We're going to do like this. You see the incompatibility issues? Arca and Arca, but it's not working. Okay. So let's see if we can have this. Now, obviously, this is made by Zacuto, so this should work, right? And yes, it does, because Zacuto is making both the ACT shoulder mount plate, and they're also making this plate that came with this one. So these obviously work together. So let's see if we can make this fit. Obviously, this with the Arca plate here, this will slide right onto here. We can tighten it down like so. And now we have a nice solution for our shoulder rig, right? The problem is this also has an Arca plate on the bottom, and I can't for the life of me fathom why Zacuto has done this, because they're no longer making Arca plate receivers. So let's see what happens here. We're going to try and fit this here. This was recommended to me by B&H, since Zacuto is no longer making these. And this has been tightened all the way. Should be good to go, right? You see? Arca plates are not Arca plates. They're not working. They're not compatible at all. So let's see if we can make this work once again. I'm going to leave this Camvate here behind because I want to use these rods, which is why I purchased this in the first place, because I want to have support for my rather heavy 24 to 105 2.8 lens. I don't want to, you know, break it off or anything. So what we are going to test now, I want to see if I can make this fit here. So let's just see. I'm just going to move this out of the way. So let's just see. We're going to slide this in, but now it won't go all the way because of the Manfrotto screw here. So what you can do is you can take your screwdriver, you can take this off. I'm not sure what this Arca mode means, because if I put the screw back in, screw it all the way down, it just disappears. I can't really see the reasoning behind it, but let's just see what happens when we put in this plate. And we are going to tighten it down. And this works, because this is made by a video manufacturer and this is made by a video manufacturer, but they're not from the same company. Bright Tangerine make their products. They are a UK based company. Zacuto, that's an American company. I mean, they both make great products. So let's see if we can flip the camera upside down. I'm not a huge fan of what I'm going to do right now, but I'm going to mount this plate onto the already existing plate. Don't ask me why, it just is the way it is. And it's only, these screws have quite a small head to make them fit onto this plate, otherwise they would just protrude. So these screws are made for this plate like this. We are going to tighten that down, although I'm not a huge fan because I'm mounting an Arca Swiss plate onto an Arca Swiss plate. I mean, that should be unnecessary, right? They're both made by video manufacturers, and we can see here there's nothing protruding. If I'm trying to use my normal 1/4 inch screws, I mean, this isn't going to work. So there are some compatibility issues to be aware of. Just gonna make sure they are tightened down. Now I'm curious to see what happens because the plate was working before. We should have raised it by 5 millimeters. Let's see if we can make this work. No, still needs to be adjusted. I'm not sure if this is going to work actually. But you see here, this screw has a little feather so we can pull on it. Let's see if we can now tighten it down. We can tighten this down. Look at this. Now we have Arca upon Arca upon an Arca receiver to make this work. But now this is working as intended. So why am I showing all of this? Well, I am trying to give you my honest opinion about camera equipment if you decide to lay down your hard-earned money and purchase one for yourself. Because here, B&H, you know, they wanted this to fit like so. And I'm not really going to trust my entire equipment. I mean, it's a very expensive camera, it's a very expensive lens on something like this. Now, I'm not trying to bash B&H, don't get me wrong, but what I am trying to teach you is that there are compatibility issues between photo Arca plates and video Arca plates and something in between. But I think this is working out rather nicely now with Zacuto and also Bright Tangerine. So I'm just going to put on my 15mm rod support. And now I have achieved what I set out to do, but I actually had to leave the whole Zacuto idea behind, and I had to invest in a separate Bright Tangerine. So I mean, it is what it is. I am quite happy with this build. You can see here, this is a very sturdy, very nice, very good rig. This stuff isn't coming anywhere, but still it is relying on this one knob and those two grips that's holding everything together. So I'm not going to put any more weight on top of this. On Zacuto's part, I'm not sure why they are making this. I mean, I think these are actually better for something like this. Also, I actually have the cage for the GH7 because this isn't heavy at all. And you can see this would work something like this with the cage on. So I mean, for that it is okay. But you can see how the problem arises when I'm trying to mount this to a tripod and it just doesn't grip. And I mean, this costs thousands of dollars. This is a very expensive camera, a very expensive lens, and I really don't want to drop it just because somebody made a wrong decision somewhere along the lines of a millimeter precision. So I think what I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to build a cinema rig, if you're trying to build any kind of a custom rig, I would recommend buying parts from more or less the same manufacturer, although in this case that wasn't true because Zacuto is actually working with Zacuto, but I can't mount this to a tripod. And I mean, then what is the point, because I'm switching between tripods and handheld all the time. And this combination from Bright Tangerine and Zacuto actually allows me to do that. So this was perhaps a bit different video, but as always, I'm trying to give you my honest opinion on video gear, because video gear is very expensive, and I know a lot of us, including me, we're not able to go to the store and test it out ourselves. And B&H, although you can speak online to them via a video channel, there are not all the products they have that they can showcase online. So that's why I'm trying to somewhat compensate with my knowledge and my failures and my testing of equipment to see and show you exactly how this stuff works. Anyway, I do hope you did get something useful out of watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel, because there is a lot more content like this coming. Thank you very much for now, and I'll see you in the next one.